Hello friends and welcome to the Storyteller's Guide on Gilding Light, where we take adventure storytelling to the next level. Thanks to our sponsors, Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms and World Anvil. The worlds in which we play are rich and full of life and a history that affects the world in many ways. From celebrating as a community or privately mourning, these events happen no matter what your players are preoccupied with. Today we're going to dig into world building and how to integrate your adventurers. I'm Satine Phoenix, your story guide for today's Storyteller's Guide episode called Integrating Events into Your Campaign. When we consider the term events in story, we often think big. A parade to mark a local or national holiday. Something big that shuts down banks like Christmas or New Year's, or even something more somber and reverent like Memorial Day. But events can be as small as an anniversary between two people, or for one person, as small as an anniversary of a historical moment in their life like a birthday or the day they got an award. From a family reunion to a banquet, these all constitute events that can take place in your world. Coming up with events is fun, but let's talk about the how and why of integrating events into your game. A way to pull NPCs towards or away from a location. This can be an event that happens in the world already, or an event orchestrated by the players to affect the choices and location of an NPC. A way to bring a collective of people together. Cult meeting? Masquerade for nobles? This is about getting a large gathering of like-minded people of either interests or social class together to mark the passage of time. You know the historical timeline of your world. The country has its events and holidays that mark when things have happened in history, or even the celebration of seasons. Progression of time can help with player agency. You can keep track of this series of holidays in World Anvil using the Timelines feature. Make tradition articles to describe how they're celebrated and share them with your players. Your players can even add in-world dates to their journals too. To integrate a historical moment, it's always better to show than tell information to your audience. By explaining what the players see in a historical event and expressing how the locals respond to the event, you can fully show the impact of said event on the world and give some background to the location they're in. To allow the PCs a look into the life of a person or people's lives. Something like a birthday, banquet, or anniversary can bring life to an NPC. Often NPCs exist only when the players are there and to directly serve the players with clues on the story. You can pepper NPC character and backstory as well as some clues on how to interact with the NPCs. Here, a way to cover up your PC's deeds. An event can be used to cover up whatever your adventurers have gotten themselves into, or be used to blame a circumstance on. It can also be used as cover for something they're about to do. This even could be made by your PCs or something already happening in the world. You might be thinking, hey, Satine, how much is too much? Honestly, it depends on the situation. There's no one right answer here. You can go full force the way Idle Champions bases entire adventures around an event, giving the adventure a very specific feel as you live in the world. You can go anywhere between full immersion to delicate, commenting on the sound of the event in the distance to mark the passage of time. Whatever your range, you, the storyteller, should make the decision before gameplay for consistency. However, sometimes things happen, and you might need to maneuver because the players aren't getting what you're putting out there. So improvise and figure out what works best with your group. First you plan, then you test, and then maneuver. With these guidelines, you'll have a good place to start from. Try not to info dump. World builders are very proud of their creations, but often get carried away with sharing with the players. Try to imagine explaining Santa and Christmas to someone who's never heard of it. You might not explain all of the iterations of Santa over time. Come up with a log line or elevator pitch for your event or holiday. A short one-sentence description to quickly explain the important bits. Something you'd share with a passerby and have the efficient information given on the matter. Maybe multiple people have different information on the event, so when the players ask questions of certain people, the NPCs share slightly different information based on their view of the event. Places can be closed because of the event, or a market could be open where you remark that you won't be able to get said item after today since it's the last day of the event. Whatever it is, remember, however important it is to the story, be considerate to how much emphasis you put on the event, or the PCs will think it's a thread to follow. Color your world with events and you'll be one step closer to painting a vibrant picture for the characters to exist in. Speaking of world building, let's discuss all of this with our special guests and begin our quest here on the Storyteller's Guide after these short videos.
Hi, I'm Benwin Bronzebottom, celebrity dwarf and video game enthusiast, and this is my sidekick, Crowy.
Hello.
We're here to tell you about Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, a Dungeons & Dragons-based strategy management game from Codename Entertainment. They're Canadian, so you know it's good.
Let's talk about the game. Did you ever play Cookie Clicker?
Of course not.
This game is a management game like that, but with far more emphasis on strategy. And with a flavoring of D&D's lore and legendary heroes, you can unlock your favorite champions like Farida from Aaron N. Evans' Brimstone Angels saga, Minskin Boo from Baldur's Gate, and the fourth and final member of Acquisitions Incorporated the C-Team, Amy Falcone's Walnut Dongras.
The K is silent.
Create the best adventuring party possible based on the formation options, your character's ability, and the obstacles and enemies you face.
Or you just randomly click on things like I do and hope for the best.
You can click on enemies to assist your champions, or you can set them up and walk away and let them do their thing. It's entirely up to you.
I'm playing on the toilet right now.
Why wouldn't you be? Idle Champions is available on all your favorite gaming platforms, including tablets, for the low, low price of free. So download it now.
End with joke.
You're not supposed to read
It
that.
says end with joke.
No, we're supposed to come up with a joke to go with where it says end with joke.
I don't know. End with joke is pretty funny.
Wait, on three. Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
End with joke. I think it's funny. It's very funny.
One of the biggest problems that storytellers face while in session is that when you're searching through your notes and books, you're breaking the flow of the game. World Anvil allows you to manage your lore, the stat blocks of your PCs, NPCs, and monsters, your music, handouts, and so much more from a single screen. Fill your maps with lore and bring your worlds to life by connecting locations, NPCs, races, and monsters to the lands of your world with interactive maps. Track the history of your world, the adventures of your party, and all your major NPCs with timelines. World Anvil is not just for D&D 5e, it supports any other game you want, since you can build stat blocks in any system you're running and play your campaign in it, as every proper homebrew tool should aim to do. Oh, and you can make your own system too. Create an account now at worldanvil.com and join the World Builders Guild. Use the code Storyteller for a whopping up to 30% off Master and Grandmaster memberships. That's worldanvil.com. Hi everyone, welcome back to Storyteller's Guide. Are you ready for a really high intermediate level adventure? I know I am. Here today with me, we have our very special guest, B. Dave Walters, the writer of Dungeons and Dragons comic, A Dark and Wished, yay, Dungeon Master of Uncommon Trust, and on Vampire the Masquerades, LA by Night. Yay! Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Also, we have John Bultena, owner, co-owner, helping creator of Cauldron and Tower, and a professor of writing at UC Merced.
Yes, I am. Thank you.
This episode is brought to you by Fanfare. Yay!
Yay!
Thank you guys so much for being here.
I can't do full Muppet hands. I'll knock all the mics over, so it's like subdued Muppet hands.
Yeah, I'm with that, yeah.
I think you guys are great, but I would like to share with the audience who you are. Please tell me how long you've been gaming, how long you've dungeon mastering, what kind of stories or games do you create?
After you, sir. You are a professional.
Thank you. I'm John Bultena. I've been playing Dungeons & Dragons for 29 years. So it's a very wee tyke. During that time, I've gone through several campaigns with my homebrew, my players, and we've been playing this current campaign now for about a year and a half, 2 years. And there's a sequel to a previous campaign, which was 2.5 years. Yeah. And actually, the current campaign is built off 20 years after a major world event. And they are currently 10th level. So this is perfect for us, and I feel like I might be a little contrived. But and I've been teaching writing now at the University of California for too long, 7 years. And I'm actually doing a class about role-playing games and research and Dungeons & Dragons in spring of 2020.
Awesome.
And very excited about that.
Sign up now. Join the professor. I have been playing and doing the math now. 28 years. 28 years. So we have elder statespeople of the Dungeons and the Dragons here. You know, back to second edition, calculating Daco and Ben Bars lift gates. I ran Theogony of Kairos, which was a level 20 campaign, so I know a little bit about high-level storytelling. And a refugee crisis was the backdrop of that story. I ran one game of Pathfinder from level 1 to level 20. It took us about 4 years. It was wild. We did it, level every single one. So yeah, I'm ready to get to this. Ready to do it.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm about to tell you. Are you ready?
All right, absolutely.
I'm about to tell you the parameters of today's adventure creation. Pay attention. It's for intermediate, like higher level, intermediate adventure. Level 10 characters. How many? Up to you. I'm not going to tell you about that. 3 to 4 hour adventure. So this is a pretty juicy one. It's a nice normal gameplay. And the only thing that I am giving to you for this is it has to integrate in-world events like holidays or events that are specific to NPCs or politics or parades or events. So, are you ready?
I am.
Yes.
All right, guys. Are you ready to start this adventure?
Yeah.
I feel like we already have, yeah.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Sorry, wrong reaction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where the heck do we begin?
That was a little victor for me.
That's true. we are what we are. Yes. Yeah.
Scoot your chairs in there, beds, and let's begin this adventure. So, where do we begin? Beginning, middle, end?
Begin at the beginning.
I want to study.
Yeah.
I want to study. And when I think of festivals, I think of water, and I think either a town on a major river, lake, or port.
But a drought. The tide went out and did not return, and we don't know why.
Ooh, I like it. Very California.
This too soon.
So real.
Yeah.
So thirsty.
Yes.
My question then is, why is the drought occurring then? That might give some background.
Which I will say, this is an unusual tech, because usually when writing stories, a lot of times, me personally, you start with the end because the end's the hardest. It's hardest to land it.
Okay.
But in this instance, I feel like I don't want to spoil it, and quite frankly, I don't know what it is because we haven't started.
Yeah.
And that happens sometimes, and that's okay that you can start in the beginning.
Yes.
You don't know how it's going to turn out. Sometimes you have to feel your way through a story.
And this is often actually how I write my adventures for my players. Is I think I have this cool idea for an event, for just in a scene, and I try to connect them and then let it unfold and kind of happen naturally. And if it doesn't happen, that's okay. But I try to connect it all. Yeah.
Because both the players and the dice will both surprise and betray you. Yes.
Speaking of surprising players, how many do we have in this game?
Like it's 6.
Yeah, 4 to 6.
4 to 6.
We'll say 6.
We'll say 6.
Okay.
Make friends, kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you
6
say,
10th level characters, I'm also saying.
where has the water gone? It has been dammed in the mountains. Because the river comes from the snowfall off the mountain. Someone has dammed it higher up.
Okay. And it could be you know who I like damming stuff on the mountains? Frost giants.
Frost giants are damming the mountains.
Yes.
Level 10 characters, I would say there is a dragon nearby who was keeping the giants in check. The dragon seems like it has been gone or slain by our own heroes.
Ooh, I like that.
Oh, the previous game, they slayed it.
And that is why that is why the frost giants are encroaching now, because there's nothing keeping them in check anymore.
They lost a natural predator.
So they
lost
were
a natural predator.
celebrating. Maybe they were in the middle of a celebration, and the townsfolk were rejoicing. And there's one of many events can happen in this whole thing.
Exactly.
So you can start out with a celebration.
So yes, I think partying, the full-blown tower with the murder bears serving in the treetops. Sorry, I can't name any licensed products, but yes, celebrating our hero's victory, because at level 10 you've already done quite a few things.
Yes.
You would be a legend in the area.
You got some power.
You have got some power, yes, and it is by their own actions they have brought this upon them. So I would say the tides come out, and then one night again it went out normally. And it just didn't return, because frost giants would be able to build a dam pretty quickly.
They are good.
Yeah,
they are Yeah, absolutely.
Large and magical, yes. So I would say that would be the premise. I would say our heroes are celebrating, they're raising a stein.
I want to level a frost giant specific villain, actually.
Yes.
And the thing of the dam and how the
Yes.
dam is built. And
Yes.
I like the term shaper.
Yes.
There's an ice shaper.
Ice Shaper.
And he is, or she is the... She is the chieftain and has formulated this thing.
Yes.
So as to keep more of the snowpack there for
Yes,
them,
for
because that's
them.
where they draw their power.
Yes. And also, just because they need water also. Because
Absolutely.
one point I always make with my monsters, especially intelligent monsters, is make sure they have a reason.
Yes.
I think that it's very shoddy storytelling when it's like, well, the orcs are destroying things because orc. I'm like, well, no, they want something.
Yes.
What is it that they want? So, yes, the frost giants, they have been crushed under the cruel oppression of the red dragon.
Okay.
Now they are reasserting their power. Now they also need water because they've been going without. They
Also
were being-
global warming.
Yes, also global warming, right. It's too soon.
Too many fireballs.
Too many fireballs, right.
Yeah.
Literally globally warming the dragon was
You know,
globally warming
You hit
things.
5th level and
Yep, there it is.
life.
All downhill. So, the frost giants, they are now trying to reassert their own culture and their own
like
presence in the world. Yeah. So
I
they
love it.
Yeah, they want to rise up also.
Yeah, why not? Why wouldn't they?
Why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Because murder hobos.
Murder hobos.
Our players might have something to say about this.
Okay.
Yes. So, have the frost giants made it known that they've returned, or do our heroes need to go investigate? Like, did they get an envoy where the frost giants are like, recognize?
They know that the river travels down mountain, and so they would be able to very much walk along the river bank for however long, and eventually come upon this great ice sheet that wasn't there when they went and murdered the red dragon.
That is true. The ice sheet was not there. So, when they get up there, is the wall defended?
Ooh. I think the wall might just be so massive that it doesn't need defense even.
Like the wall.
Like the wall?
Like the wall. I didn't want to name names, but yeah, we'll
true.
go with that.
I don't think they trademarked the wall.
No, I don't think
No,
they
they didn't
can.
wall.
They don't think they can. And
Yeah, I hope they can.
it worked for like 1,000 years, so GG, right?
But I like this idea of the first encounter of the adventure isn't necessarily combat, it's that they have to scale this thing. They have to
True.
get up
Weather.
it. Weather
Yes.
is a problem.
So
Weather's
there's
problem, it's
good
cold.
exploration
And
encounter.
what I love about this more than anything is that such an ecological change would displace other wildlife.
Yes.
So they're trying to fight wildlife on the way up there.
Yes.
Vertical encounters are terrifying.
Yes.
And 10th level characters, you gotta put them in their place once in a while. You know, they
Yes.
come in and they think they're, you know, all the rage, but you gotta go and be like, hey, you need to settle down once in a while and give them a nice challenge. And
You got thirsty bears.
Yep.
You've got angry hawks.
I've been to West
Hawks.
Hollywood.
Eagles, right? Falcon.
I like rocks.
Thirsty bears.
The
Rocks.
big, yeah.
Well, you can do some smaller scale things. These are things that DMs can do. Like when they camp at night, if they forget to place their sentry, just a hungry bear that comes into camp is nibbling on your toes in the dead of night can still be plenty frightening.
It's also 6 10th level characters.
Yes.
Yes.
So we got to keep that hardness up.
Reminds me of an instance actually in my game where the turtle was keeping track at night, and one of the characters woke up and thought the turtle was actually going through their food, and because he was covered in furs, and they turned out and poked him on the shoulder, and he was like, "No, I'm a bear," and it didn't go well. But yeah, that kind of stuff too. The vertical encounter I'm really liking though because you can have the flying creatures, and I feel like flying creatures don't get enough credit. They don't get the environment that's conducive to them. They're
Definitely.
swooping in, attacking, but as opposed to like, hey, you're on the side of a hill.
Yes.
I don't know, man. That's terrifying.
I would also say we've got some unseasonable weather coming along, because frost giants can control weather.
Absolutely.
So you got ice, snow, blizzard conditions, which if the characters haven't prepared for, that's a problem.
It's spring. So.
It is spring, yeah. They didn't bring their furs and trappings and things, so they got that to deal with and contend with. Well, because by level 10, characters have quite a few resources at their disposal. So I think it is definitely up to the DM to hit their soft targets. Because I think a good DM has to do two things. You have to give each character a chance to shine, but you also have to give each character where they suffer for their particular weaknesses.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
You know? Yeah. So I think hags, like frost hags, frost trolls. It's almost like a frozen Mordor has taken shape, where all of these creatures, who in their own way feel like they've been repressed, are coming back and are happy about it. In fact, I think this is a good chance, because I always like to put a little bit of diplomacy with my monsters.
Okay.
To have an intelligent creature, like I'll just say Frost Troll. Obviously, I don't have the monsters manual completely committed to memory, but a Frost Troll come along and be like, "What are you doing here? Like, this is our place."
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah.
And I like this idea too, going with diplomacy, that the Frost Trolls made a deal with the Frost Giants.
Mm-hmm.
So now there's like a whole coalition forming because of this wall.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's a question of, well, we didn't just go and strike at the Frost Giants, we struck at their friends.
Yes,
Ooh.
I'm yes-anding you. And the wall, they put it up partially to stop the encroachment of the humans.
Yes.
Like both to keep water up here, but also keep you down there. Like,
Yeah.
this is
Are there
ours.
clues on the way to the wall?
It'd be intelligent creatures that could talk to, perhaps.
Mhm.
But even sudden
Things in the environment.
sudden spawning of certain creatures that they're like, well, these were gone. These don't come wake up for another 4 or 5 months.
Mhm.
But now they're there, and it's like, well, and if you have like a ranger or a druid in the party, they would easily be like, you
Talk,
shouldn't
yeah.
be awake.
Mhm.
What are you doing here?
And you never go
Carcasses.
wrong with a gigantic footprint.
This is footprints.
There's
Good.
one big old, just wow, boom.
They tell a hell of a story.
They do.
Yeah.
All
They
right.
do.
So we've got the dam, we've got your way up, you're climbing this wall that seems to go on forever, up and sideways.
Yes.
You've got the trauma of trying to fight your way up because you've got the flying creature, well, you've got the rock flying at you
Mhm.
up the wall. You get to the top of the wall.
Mhm.
Or you get to a cave. Or what?
I'd say
What do we
there's
got?
got to be a few ways to circumvent the wall, and it's got to be probably it definitely needs to be defended. We weren't saying that because simply, quite frankly, at that level, they can just kind of just start hitting it with disintegrates and punch big holes
Yes.
in it if that's what they want. So there definitely has to be watchers on the wall, no pun intended, to stop that from happening. But I think going around has got to be viable. Flying's got to be, because they can fly by then.
Yeah.
But the wind is going to be high winds,
High winds,
snow.
yeah.
You know, it's difficult.
Environments. Yeah.
Yeah, but so you have to really lean into the environmental difficulties of it, of not being able to see, of maybe freezing, of the wind buffeting them around. They've got to be able to, again, a cave system to get in and around it, especially if it's, I'd say, any type of druid or ranger that's a local.
Yes, absolutely.
Would have a real shot at being like, well, I know how to kind of navigate through here. Talking to the animals also.
Speak of the animals is
Speak
amazing.
with animals.
Ah.
'cause
They are the
again,
witness.
They
of
are,
course, yeah.
and they have things that they want. They
Yeah.
have, their own wishes and things like that. So it's good to interact.
Oh, you know what I'm liking it like a frozen body in the wall that like they suddenly speak with dead with or something like that.
Ah,
Who just got
cool.
he got flash frozen, you know.
Awesome.
Something like that'd be really fascinating. But let's say they get to the top of the wall and I don't know if it necessarily be defended. The Frost Giants might think, well, we got this whole thing. How are you going to bring it down? But they could get to the top and there could be a Frost Giant patrol. They might have a chance of encountering, not necessarily have to actually encounter it, but they might have a way to circumvent that if they do climb that up. I like that, yeah.
I mean, just a couple Frost Giants riding on the back of mammoths would
I
probably
love
be
it. I love them.
What a visual.
I love 'em.
right, waiting on you
Yeah.
up there with an uprooted tree trunk. Yeah.
I have a story about those actually too, but another time. But these kind of scouts on mammoth back, patrolling, checking out what's going on, and the mammoths love it too, you know.
But I do think it is very necessary that the Frost Giants say something before they just start fighting, simply because, again, I know it seems crazy. I like a little diplomacy in my role-playing games. But not just that, but the characters are so powerful and action economy is so imbalanced that if they decide to kill something, they almost will, and they will do it very quickly. So there has to be a reason why even the characters stop and don't just start hurling fireballs immediately, or they're gonna, win.
Yeah,
fast.
and usually if the bad guy or the opponent doesn't outright attack them immediately, that's a good sign of, gathering information.
Mhm.
That the thing actually has information that will lead them further into the story, because that's what we want.
Mhm.
So we get to the top, we've got the mammoth riding giants that are just patrols. What happens?
Maybe they offer to take them with an audience to the Shaper.
Yeah, the
If
Shaper,
they ask.
or just lieutenant or some intermediate. They're going to go, hey, we're going to check in before we do anything. But they give an opportunity for the players to stand down, to be cool, and go from there. And then eventually the lieutenant's like, well, I'm not sure if you're trying to be diplomatic. It's not really my place. I'm supposed to not let anyone up the wall. But the Shaper we can lead you to, and I like this encounter.
Maybe the giants have actually heard that these are the people that killed the dragon.
Ooh.
Even they know. Oh, they're like, what's your name? Oh, you're them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like you.
All right, you can live for now.
Our king would like to meet you.
Exactly,
Yes.
exactly, and you know,
Or shaman, yeah.
and if they make that known, that's why they get their audience there. And I think the audience should be in an incredibly inhospitable place because it doesn't occur to the frost giants that's bad.
Yeah. That's negative 50 degrees Fahrenheit. You're okay, right?
Yeah, right.
Cool.
They're,
It's kind of sizzling warm.
I know they're like it's balmy. It's balmy, you know. So the frost giant court I see is very much being near the top of the mountain, maybe like a rise right on the edge of it where they've come down just enough for these soft mortals.
Yes.
To meet with the Shaper, who's there communing with the spirits.
And I like this. I want this encounter to be public. I want it to be in front of a bunch of frost giants, not just like not a private thing where they can ambush the person.
Great hall.
Great hall. Yes.
Oh man, the visual on that is beautiful. You've got light, like natural lighting coming in through like some like cracked ancient rock, through like it's like a glacier.
Yes.
And you know what you absolutely have to have, and this is what will completely twist the knife in the party, because again, I am a monster. You need some frost giant children around.
Yes, I was about to say.
You need some young ones that are around, and they're having a party.
Yes.
The ding dong, the witch is
They're
dead.
playing in a lake.
Yeah.
Because that's like their pool.
Their boogeyman's dead.
Yep, the boogeyman's
the
dead.
boogeyman of
the dragon slain.
And the players get to see what great thing they've done to let these kids go out in the open. They don't have to be hiding in caves or whatever it may be.
They're not afraid of the open air.
They're free.
Yeah. Right, and then you're there to make them not free, or are you?
Oh, and then event. So bring it all back around to an event. The event that they're having, that the frost giants are having, is yet another celebration. Is it their solstice? Is there like a couple of different things happening?
You could do a celebration with the frost giants where they're celebrating the death of the dragon.
It's like D-Day.
Very much. And then you could also do a celebration that goes with the town that they're helping out, where that town was trying to have a celebration, but it just couldn't happen because of the lack of water. And it'd be really interesting to actually try to make these correspond to each other.
It would definitely be interesting brackets. If you were like, we were having a party and it got messed up, and we came up here and you're having a party, it might be about to get messed up. Yeah, because I think since this is unseasonable for them, because normally it should be spring, they shouldn't be turning up too hard. So I don't think it should be a high holy day, but I definitely think it's ding dong, the witch is dead.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, like we're so happy. And it might be just a rallying cry for the frost giant people to be like, look, we made the wall, we've got our troops back, the next generation's rising up, like frost giants are back, baby, and that's when our party is like, but don't though? Could you not?
What happens? We only have about 10 minutes left in this episode. What is the thing? Because you've got one fact, you've got another fact, but where does it all turn around that creates the guts of this story?
I'm liking the big diplomacy with the Shaper.
Yep.
And the Shaper could easily issue them another quest, but also I'm not sure how to go the next route. What do you got?
I think you've got ultimately two ways that it's going to go, and I think it's going to vary party for party. I think you can try and talk to her, and there probably is a way to negotiate to let the river through, but keep your walls up. Like, we'll respect you as a frost giant nation.
Yes.
And that is an achievable goal. Or murder hobo, fireballs. Yeah. Because some people do it that way. Yeah. And do it that way. But then you're going to war.
Yeah, you're going to war, but you also have a council in a great hall, Glacier Hall.
Yes.
So it's like, is it reasonable for them to exit, or like?
Well, the frost giants would keep them there.
I don't think. Well, I mean, again, I don't think the frost giants would resort to outright hostility unless they had to.
Yes.
I mean, again, they're intelligent creatures. They have what they want. They're here with their children. They're trying to reestablish their society. And again, if you start shooting arrows, it's going to go down. Just like it would anywhere else. I think so. The real crux of this is either outright war or making peace. And I think, especially since your characters by level 10 are going to have done a lot of fighting, giving them at that point a problem that they cannot solve just with their fists is a good thing. Because a lot of times we don't get that. A lot of times things are just pure dungeon crawls, just murder, big thing, murder, treasure.
Now,
Murder.
Now, my thought initially is actually potentially a dissension in the Frost Giants, where the Shaper's like, okay, we can see a piece, but that's not going to fly with my next in command. He's actually interested in going to war and conquering.
Interesting.
So there might be
Ritual combat.
You
You can pick one champion.
I like it.
Pick one champion and 1v1 the Frost Giant champion.
Yeah.
Because that'd be a cool visual for one of the characters. They gotta work out amongst themselves who's gonna throw.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I won't kid you, we did that in our last campaign, actually, it was amazing.
Proof it's a good idea, because you had it and it worked. Yes. I think that's interesting. I mean, personally, I like the set piece. I like to just, here's the situation, and you characters tell me what the story is.
Yes.
I mean, I just did that at the game we ran at WheatonCon yesterday. I was like, here's what's happening. What do you guys do? And then
my best events in my games, the things that we remember, the things that we keep on talking about for 3-4 years, are those things where the players made a choice that I was like, all right, you're gonna do that, cool, let's run with it and see what happens. And it feels good for them, and it feels good for me. Plus, it makes my job a little easier. So.
Let me tell you what I think will not happen. The Frost Giants will not go back under the yoke. They're free now.
No.
They will not give up the mountain, because to them, it being like icy and sweet up here is, that's their nature,
Yes.
I think they would be willing to let the river back through once they realize it's hurting people. I think they would be willing to live kind of in peace. But it's either you kind of got to respect that they're here now, or, drive them back again with open war.
Well, I'm sorry.
How about this? You've got a lot of weight and decision happening on the players who are supposed to be protecting and helping the town.
Yes.
So, how does the town feel? The town itself is a character in this. What does the town want? Does the town want blood? Does the town want peace?
I always like a town council where there's like 5 members, and you have 1 or 2 who are like, yeah, screw the Frost Giants, go kill them. You guys can do it, right? Another one's like, we have a chance of not having to expend resources on this. Yeah, let's probably go with that. And then you have a few swing votes, and the players could do diplomacy with that, or they could do some sort of other economical exchange with that, where they get their comeuppance, and the council feels like, okay, well, my constituents won't be mad at me because we got this, but we didn't get this.
Well, it's the same thing. Their actions or their inactions are going to have consequences. Yes. But I think the reason why tabletop games matter, and the reason why video games will never displace this medium, is it gives people to feel like they're at cause in the narrative, that their actions and their inactions have an impact and matter. So I think the burden of this really does have to come down to the players. They can be advised either way. But a hero, to be a valid hero, has to act and not be acted upon. So they weigh these things, and they're like, yes, we will do this. And of course something terrible is going to happen no matter what. If they leave the Frost Giants, something else bad's going to happen. If they don't leave the Frost Giants, something else bad's going to happen. The same way removing the dragon caused this new problem. It's a constant spinning plates of trying to find equilibrium.
I got a really good idea, actually. Let's say, I put a little caveat in there saying that if you kill the Shaper, the whole wall starts coming down and it floods the town. Like, you can't, killing the Shaper is not a good idea, because they've already established this, and all that's going to be like, oh, well, deluge.
I really like the open-ended ending of this, where and it puts a lot of weight on the game master, which, when people play this, which they should be able to, the game master is the one who really needs to pay attention to what the players are doing and say, this is the consequence of your specific actions. A lot of time when we write adventures, we write 4 outcomes or 1 outcome or whatever. But I really like that at a level 10 intermediate, the game master has to make those choices.
Well, to me, that is what makes it an advanced adventure. It is not the fact that you're physically rolling more dice. I mean, that's just math. It's the fact that you are making harder choices and being presented with more complex situations.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Well, actually, one thing we're doing at Cauldron Tower actually is in our adventures. We have a series coming out, and we have little blue boxes that I think they're gonna be blue that say, if this happens in this town, make a note of it and watch in the second adventure, because this is gonna matter.
Oh,
this is gonna change that encounter or that narrative.
Well, high-level storytelling's kind of become my niche now, this level 20 game, and the only way you can do it is it's very difficult to make it just power for power, because again, action economy being what it is, 4 level 20 characters are going to wreck a 1 level 20 monster. You have to make it more about them weighing their actions and weighing the consequences of their actions and inactions, and then when they do something, it matters.
Yes,
I mean, I made goblins a real and present menace to them, even though they were capable of vaporizing them. Because of the way we'd set it up, and spoiler alert, one of the things I had them do is they were rampaging through the goblin warrens, kick in the door, nursery.
Yeah.
Room
Ooh,
full of baby
favorite.
goblins.
Yeah.
You know? So the more you increase the stakes of what you do, is what makes it an intermediate game, less than the monster's bigger. Because yeah, the monster's bigger, but that's all relative.
Yes,
I
it
have
is.
one more question. It's a very important question. The most important question. What is the name of this adventure?
I'm liking I like the word lament. I wanted to go with Lament of the Frost Giants off the bat, but I could
Lament of the Shaper.
Lament of the Shaper.
Thank you both for being on Storyteller's Guide, creating Lament of the Shaper. This was really awesome.
Thank you.
I really
Thank
like
you.
the visual, like so many good visuals here.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you tell everybody where they can find you on the internet?
B. Dave Walters, Law Vampire the Masquerade, LA by Night, Fridays at 8 o'clock on Geek and Sundry, Dungeons and Dragons: A Dark and Wish, available at your local comic shop, or maybe not, because the entire first print run sold out.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, yeah.
But Comixology issue 2 is coming soon, and follow me at B. Dave Walters on all the socials. Please support this man. He is making new content. It is hard to be an indie creator. It is difficult to start. The fact that they've even made it this far is a Herculean accomplishment. Also, one other thing, maybe it's Lamentations of the Shaper, because that would be a more proper use of the word.
Okay, there we go.
But I'm done. There you
All
go.
right, thank you. I'm a big fan, I gotta say too, by the way. But you can find me actually on Twitter and Instagram at OnlyPlayWizards, one word. OnlyPlayWizards.com as well. Our company, Cauldron Tower, is Cauldron, the letter N Tower, on Instagram and Twitter. And you can find our links through there to our web store, to our DMs Guild products. Whatever you need, you can find us through there. And we try to keep up to date, and we love seeing people wearing our gear, actually. It's great.
I have a button.
There's a button. Yeah, I got swag.
Button.
Oh, you want a button?
That's
How do you get a button?
They sent you two.
Swag.
Maybe I didn't shake the bag.
You didn't shake the bag.
enough.
Oh, okay, I'll give you a few. I got you.
Thank you guys for watching. I'm Satine Phoenix on all the social medias, and the owner of Gilding Light. And I want to thank you guys so much for watching. It is a pleasure to share my friends' brains with you and other ways for storytelling. Thank you so much to our partners, Idle Champions, and also our sponsor, World Anvil. This is so much fun. Please stay tuned for more Storyteller's Guide here on Gilding Light.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching the Storyteller's Guide here on Gilding Light. Please, in the comments, tell us how you use the hero's journey in your stories. Send us links to your questionnaires that you ask. Let's start the conversation and learn from each other. Thanks again. See you next time on the Storyteller's Guide.